Good morning. Today is our last day on level 4. Tomorrow they say we can bring someone into our bubble. So, are there any hairdressers out there that like to move into our bubble? That would be great. We're going to read from Acts 17 verse 28. For in him we live and move and have our being.
17th century wannabe monk. French to boot. I think he eventually made it to a friar. His name was Brother Lawrence, and he wrote a series of letters that were later compiled into a book. And the book is called Practising the Presence of God. It's still available. It's considered a Christian classic, and you can find it for free on the internet. Just pick a modern translation, not one of those King James styles one that always seems to come up first. The question is this: how and where do you meet with God? In church services, in liturgies, in communion, in quiet times, in contemplation? All of us will give a slightly different answer to that question. For Brother Lawrence, the answer was really important. God is all around us, he thought. God wants to have fellowship with me, he thought. So in everything I do, everywhere that I am, I can have communion with God. Now, in a church service, when we're worshipping God, as monks do, I swear, after 4 weeks of lockdown, I am hearing things. I know that God is here, and I know that I can have communion with him. But what about when I'm working in the kitchen? Is God there too? Can I talk to him? Can I worship him? Is God involved in what I do? So when I'm peeling potatoes, which seems to be a sensible thing to do for a friar, or whatever, can God help me? Can he teach me? Can he talk to me? Brother Lawrence concluded that he could, and he did. That God's presence could come out of the sanctuary of church or the spiritual and into everyday life. So he set his life to live this way, to recognize that God was always with him. Now, God is omnipresent. He's everywhere, even at level 4. He just keeps breaking all the rules. But God being present is not necessarily helpful for us. Brother Lawrence recognized that unless we did something with that fact, God's presence became irrelevant. Hence the book, Practising the Presence of God. Realizing that God is with me all the time, recognizing God's presence, remembering God's presence, making something of that presence. So here I am, Lord, and I'm doing what I've done 100 times before. Please help me to do it better. Show me how to do it well. Help me to do it as an offering to you. That kind of means that the mundane can be sacred, that even the ordinary can become worship, and that the secular becomes spiritual. All of this just because we choose to acknowledge the presence of God with us. Now, this isn't just a selfish thing. It's not just about me. It's a kingdom thing. So as I'm walking down the road, I'm praying for those that I pass. As I'm doing my ordinary life, I'm including God and I'm letting him show me things. Now, there was a practical thing that I wanted to suggest that you did today. What was it? Practice the presence of God.